Amiibo figurines add a little zest to your favorite Nintendo games. Some work with multiple games, and all of them offer something great: a new outfit, power-ups, or other bonuses. Sometimes they add a brand new character to the game too, or just brand spanking new exclusive content. With a total of 164 Amiibo figurines as of this recording, there are some that are bound to be better than others in terms of what they offer, and in terms of aesthetic and just general ability to buy them. So today we're counting down the top 10 Amiibo that should be illegal. Well, sort of. These are Amiibo that have peeved off players for very particular reasons, rather than, hey, that figurine looks dumb, derp-a-derp. So with that in mind, let's jump in. At number 10, Silver Mario. One of the reasons why many Nintendo fans shiver at the word Amiibo is because of how difficult they were to actually get your mitts on. They were almost impossible to collect, and often, even if you did care to collect them, you would have to hunt them down in order to unlock cool features in games that you had already purchased. Not that they were deal-breaker features, but still annoying nonetheless. So when Nintendo started pumping out variations of Amiibo, everyone except hardcore collectors kinda rolled their eyes a little bit. Silver Mario is one of those variants. Many people felt that this Amiibo was rather irrelevant, considering that the Gold Mario variant had way better functionality to begin with. Speaking of variants, in at number 9, Gold Megaman. Another one for the variant groans, Gold Megaman also fit the bill for feeling rather irrelevant. Most felt that Gold Megaman didn't really offer up much in comparison to its original Amiibo, and that the functionality was limited anyways, or rather uninspired. Although it did boast more platform compatibility compared to the original Mega Man Amiibo. It has a handful of games that it was compatible with, but only one of those was a Mega Man game, and it was specifically presented by Capcom. Alright, those two were the easy parts of this list. Up next, number 8, something much more cringeworthy: the Wii Fit Trainer. The Wii Fit Trainer is part of something often referred to as the Holy Trinity. The Holy Trinity were 3 Amiibos that were released in the first wave of the figures to debut. Back then, no one had anticipated how popular Amiibo would become, so in terms of release, not all the figures had the same amount produced, and this included the Wii Fit Trainer. Along with 2 other Amiibo that we'll be discussing shortly, the Wii Fit Trainer had a low stock to begin with, and after they sold out within a few days, Nintendo announced that they were discontinuing it. Introducing the world of Amiibo scalpers. Oh god, yeah, this is a thing that exists. The prices for those who had the Wii Fit Trainer, or those who had bought multiple at the time intending to sculpt them, skyrocketed, making them go for double or triple their retail price. The Wii Trainer ain't even all that great. It's only compatible with the Super Smash Bros. Game, and luckily it isn't required to unlock any special content, so you can imagine how frustrating this figure is just in theory. And at number 7, Toad. Toad is a prime example of the problems that Nintendo had with releasing certain Amiibo figures. When he came out in 2015, he was the only exclusive Amiibo in the Super Mario series, and became almost impossible to find, selling out immediately since he was the only unique character within that series. Now at the time of Toad's release, he was the only one compatible with a game released prior to the Amiibo's introduction, Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker, although it was more of a letdown compared to how it was advertised. Essentially, the Amiibo unlocked a glorified hide-and-seek game that was more of a minigame than anything, and didn't really do anything to advance that game's plot. And at 6, Rosalina. Rosalina wasn't exclusive for Target during the Wave 3 release of Amiibo. Her retail nightmare is perhaps one of the most well-known ones on this list. She went up for pre-order online at around 3 AM on the Target website, and 20 minutes later was completely sold out. Because of the scalper community that exists around Amiibos, the amount of Rosalinas that appeared online for double her price started popping up everywhere. To add insult to injury, if you were in Canada and tried to pre-order her, your life would suck a little bit. Shortly after the pre-order went up, Target decided to shut down all of its Canadian stores, which ultimately resulted in all of those pre-orders becoming void. They got cancelled. Customers were compensated, but if you lived in Canada at the time, there was no way in hell you were getting a Rosalina, because they were a Target exclusive. And at number 5, Marth. Marth is one of the other members of the Holy Trinity, and is generally one of the most difficult Amiibo to get your hands on. To many collectors, Marth is a big deal because of the character's limited stock and Holy Trinity status. Whereas the Wii Fit Trainer would often go for triple her retail cost, Marth often goes for 5 to 7 times his retail price. And since the rarity of him popping up online or in store was so inconsistent when he was released, it was hard to actually find one that wasn't going to cost you just under a bill. The funny part though about this Amiibo is that he isn't all that special when you do scan him, with the only standout quality being that he gives you the exclusive content in codename Steam. And at number 4, Lucario. Lucario was an exclusive of Toys R Us's, and part of Wave 3. And really, Toys R Us is to blame about the hype concerning this Amiibo. After people had pre-ordered the Pokemon, Toys R Us started sending out mass emails to those who had purchased Lucario stating that their order was cancelled, or that it was no longer valid. So you can imagine the fallout from that, considering how crazy Amiibo fans can get. At this point, pre-orders were pretty much all sold out, so you're kinda shit out of luck if you wanted to get your hands on one of them. Up next at 3 is something more frustrating: the Villager. The Villager is is the final piece of the Holy Trinity. Unlike Marth and the Wii Fit Trainer, Villager was even more rare, and import sites didn't even offer him online. It seemed as if he was out of stock everywhere. Scalpers sold him for ridiculous prices that at times even exceeded how much Marth was going for, since Nintendo announced that more villagers would be produced, but only in Japan. And this is where it gets interesting. The new batch of villagers had subtle changes. His eye positions, his forehead size, and his arms were ever so slightly different than the first batch that had been released. So guess what that meant? The original villagers went up in price exponentially, and were labeled as being an original first edition collectible. So if you tried to get one, you would be just cashing out a lot of money, friends. Oh, the pains of being a true collector. Up next at 2, Little Mac. If those last two numbers didn't leave you feeling defeated, this one will. Little Mac is often jokingly and painstakingly referred to as the amiibo that never existed. Why? Because he's so damn rare it hurts. Little Mac was released the day after Nintendo announced that its Wave 2 of Amiibo would be split in half. For the most part, scalpers got to him first, and it was literally impossible to find him in any retail stores. His stock was so minimal because of the character not being a really popular one, even more so than the Holy Trinities. And these days, you're likely gonna have to pay at least $100 to get your mitts on one. And similar to the Wii Fit Trainer, you can only use him in Super Smash Bros., the only game that he's compatible with. So really, he's not even all that worth it, except for the fact that he's rare as fuck. And finally, in at number 1, Ness. Ness's story is almost comical. Part of Wave 4, this amiibo was announced as a GameStop exclusive, with pre-orders going live the day after the announcement. But that's when shit hit the fan. The day of the pre-orders, GameStop crashed. And I'm not just talking about its website, no, its whole network, its servers, you name it. All thanks to unpredictably high traffic because of Amiibos. So people who were waiting in line had to wait ages for the system to register their pre-order, with some wait times in person being up to an hour per customer. Worst part is, because the system was all wonky, not all the pre-orders were actually registered by it, and some of those orders were cancelled because of how slow it was going. And because of how long these wait times were, the Amiibos were selling out everywhere, so you couldn't even rely on the fact that you were punctual and waiting in line in person. Oh no. It was the end of the world as far as Amiibo were concerned. Alright, there we have it, friends. Which of these Amiibo annoyed you the most? Which ones are your favorites? Give us a shout in those comments below and let us know. If you dug this video, hit that like button and be sure to subscribe to hang out with us some more. We also have a nifty little playlist currently flashing on your screen filled with other fun lists, so be sure to check that out before you go. In the meantime though, thanks for watching everybody. I'll catch you on the next video.